Okay. Hey, everybody, it's Ro, and we are here for our 2023 Empower One Housing Seminar with Ohio Housing Finance Agency and friends. And speaking of friends, I have a friend here from Third Federal, and that is Jason Wagner. First of all, welcome.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Yes, and can you just one real quick identify your role at Third Federal and then give a brief, just outline of what's going to happen today in your presentation?
Excellent. Yeah, I'm Jason Wagner. I am a branch manager at the Ohio City branch. Today I'm going to talk about building credit for future success, which we talk about home ownership. We're going to talk about spending habits. We're going to talk about solutions for financial wellness, and we're going to talk about our community development products, purchases, and down payment assistance.
Nice. Thank you, Jason. Well, we're going to get right into it, so enjoy this presentation.
Hello, good evening, everyone. I'm so glad that you tuned in with us today. Hopefully you attended our Empower One event this past Saturday and learned some valuable information. If not, we'll do the best we can to give you some additional information today. So my name is Monique Winston. I'm the board chair for the Greater Cleveland Realtist Association. Woohoo! The Greater Cleveland Realtist Association, we are the local board of the National Association of Real Estate Brokers. So most of you may know us as NAREB. And we know that we are the premier network of Black real estate professionals. And we have over 90 chapters across the nation. And everything that we do works towards our mission of promoting democracy in housing. So our members, which are comprised of every aspect of the real estate profession, we come together for professional development so that we can stay abreast of all the important industry updates. We come together to discuss ideas about how we can better serve our clientele. And of course, we do impactful events like the Empower One Housing Seminar that just took place. So as an organization, both locally and nationally, we are committed to a lot of things. But I'll tell you, at the top of the list is we are committed to increasing this rate of Black home ownership, which, by the way, unfortunately, is the lowest among all demographics. And we all here know that home ownership is important, but it's important for several reasons, right? For Blacks, for example, the equity in your home represents on average about 70% of your net worth. So it is a great way to build wealth. The ability to build generational wealth is contingent upon passing down assets. So if that doesn't exist, each generation, every decade, each generation, they are responsible for sort of starting over, I like to say. They have to find their own way to build generational wealth. So we are going to start this trajectory so that we can change these numbers around Black home ownership. It's also important because a home is an investment. You can build equity in your home, which gives you some more financial options, whether that's paying down your debt, whether that's starting a business, whether that's paying for higher education. The equity in your home can allow you to do some of those things. And believe it or not, there's actually a lot of data around how home ownership helps to create a more stable home environment. We know that it provides a safe place for families to grow, and it becomes the cornerstone of our community. We know it's a safe place for our children to grow. And there is even data that shows that owning a home gives children so much more stability that they actually do well academically. Did you know that? I didn't know that. So there's data surrounding all of that. So that's just a little bit about who we are as the amazing Greater Cleveland Realtist Association and why we are so passionate about what we do. At this time, I want to introduce you to our president here in Cleveland, Ms. Deborah Bonner, and she's going to talk to you about what you should look for in a real estate professional and why you should choose a realtist. So I'm going to take a minute here and I am going to pass the mic, as DJ Cassidy would say, to my friend, Deborah Bonner. So give me 1 second here, Deborah. And I am going to turn it over to you. There you go.
Okay, there I go. Okay, well, thank you so much, Monique, for that introduction. Now, starting your home buying journey can be very overwhelming. You will need a guide to help you through this process. And that guide should be a Realtist real estate agent. Now, how do you find a real estate agent? Ask your friends, ask your family, ask coworkers for a referral. You can call the number on a house that is in a neighborhood that you might like. Or you might call a real estate office in a neighborhood that you are interested in. Or, as a lot of people do, and a lot of people start their home search, you can Google real estate agent near me. Now, once you get some names, you can start the interview process to find someone that you get a good rapport with, somebody that you get along with. But the one question you really should ask them should be, are you a realtist? Now, if you ask that question and they say yes, then you know that you will be in good hands, because we as realtors work under a code of responsibility, and we will treat you in a fair and compassionate and ethical manner. Now, first thing you have to think about also is your Realtist buyer's agent as opposed to a listing agent. Now, when I mentioned before about that person's name that you see on the house, that is a seller's, that is the seller's agent. That is the listing agent. They work for the seller, but you're working with a buyer's agent, hopefully a Realtist, who will help you through the whole home buying process, from the initial consultation through the entire home search. And when you find that special home, we will help you prepare a fair and competitive offer to present to the seller. Now, once the seller accepts your offer, you will have the opportunity to work with other realtors, such as a home inspector, appraiser, the title and escrow officer, and insurance agents, who are all realtors, and we all have a role in the home buying process. Now, your lender will be finalizing your loan in the meantime. And once you get that notice that they have a clear to close, then you can get that moving truck ready, because you will be getting the keys to your new home. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is the home buying process. That's why you need to work with a Realtist, because we have those relationships with everyone throughout the process, and we will treat you in that fair and ethical manner. I'm going to turn it over to Jennifer Robinson from Third Federal Savings and Loan. Take it away, Jennifer.
Third Federal is proudly celebrating our 85th anniversary. We were founded in Cleveland, Ohio in 1938 by Ben and Jerome Stefanski, who are the parents of our current CEO, Mark Stefanski. We offer great savings products, checking accounts, CDs, and most of all, we offer excellent home loans, and we have the best rates in town. We focus on a few products, but we do them all very, very well. We pride ourselves on offering a customer a personal touch. A live person always answers the phone, and loan experts are at our branches, where you can just walk right in and get all your questions and answers answered about your up and coming new home loan that you're going to get after this program is over. We have community development programs as low as 3% down. And my colleague, Jason Wagner, he's going to give you all of the details of our programs and our down payment assistance. Jason?
Hello, everyone. My name is Jason Wagner. I am the branch manager of the Ohio City office. And today I'm going to talk about building credit for future success. And when we talk about that, we talk about home ownership. As was mentioned before, about home ownership being a key to unlocking wealth, future wealth, and generational wealth. So today I'm going to talk about the following topics. 1, money management. 2, establishing and maintaining credit. 3, our Home Ready product, which is a mortgage or purchase loan. 4, our Fixer Upper home equity line. for home improvement. And then 5 are forgivable down payment and other down payment assistance programs. So first, let me talk about money management. There are 10 pitfalls to money management. 1, having no spending plan. Establishing rules on how to plan to spend money is very important when you talk about how you're going to pay for various things like vacation, birthdays, home buying, cars, etc. Number 2, having no cash reserve. What I mean by reserve is, do you have money in the bank saved that will enable you to pay for things that happen in life? And in this life, things happen, such as car trouble, hot water tanks going out, plumbing, sinks, toilets being repaired. Number 3, too much use of credit. Are you using credit for any and everything and not necessarily paying it off or paying it down very quickly? We all know how the rates are. Those rates are in the high teens and sometimes 20s, in the 20 percentile. Number 4, non-constructive use of windfalls. So if you get a bonus at your job, you get a tax return, that's most people have gotten at this point. Birthday money, what are you doing with that money? Are you buying that new 4K TV? Are you buying clothes, or are you taking that money to save it or paying off other things that you've incurred over time? Number 5, no provision for large expenses. You don't have money to cover large expenses, like if you're a wedding in particular. Number 6, underestimating the cost of home ownership. As a homeowner, you have a mortgage payment, you have taxes, you have insurance, but there are other costs associated with owning a home, such as if something happens with the roof, guess what? You got to fix the roof. You can't call a landlord to do that because you are the landlord, you're the homeowner. If you have a driveway that needs repair, guess what? You have to do that. Number 7, spending leaks. What are your blind spots in your spending? Are you going to Starbucks every day? Starbucks can be very expensive, $5 a day on some coffee. If you limit it to maybe once a week, how much more money could that be for savings? Are you doing fast food every day? Number 8, careless shopping habits. Are you one that likes that 0% offer every time they offer it, like the 0% credit card where you're at a store and you're getting clothes because they're offering you the 0% when you really didn't intend on buying it, but because you're getting 0%, you buy it, but then you can't pay it off, and guess what? You go to a higher rate. Let's think about that. Number 9, not saving small amounts. One thing I've done personally for the past 10, 15 years is every time I use cash, the change that I get, I don't spend the change, I save the change. That's my own personal tax. And I put it in a jar, and over a year's time, 2 years' time, there's hundreds of dollars in there that I can use when I go on vacation for spending money. And that's what I use it for. Number 10, you can't wait. You just got to have it right now. Well, if you got to have it right now, guess what? You're going to pay more for it. But if you can wait a little bit, just a little bit, it tends to get cheaper. So there are 5 components of personal money management that are pretty simple. These 5 components can set you up for success. 1, setting financial goals. And what I mean by setting a goal is not just thinking about that goal, not just saying that goal, but writing that goal down. It's proven that if you write the goal down and you see it every day, it's more likely to happen. Number 2, calculating your income. Know exactly what you make and what percentage should go to your housing expense. There's a rule of thumb that 28% of your income should go towards your housing. But if you want to make it very basic, 25% or a fourth of your income should go to your housing expense. Number 3, tracking your spending. Save all your receipts to see what you're spending and evaluate it. Number 4, create a spending plan. This is where you create a budget. Hey, I know I make this much. I know I have these goals I want to accomplish to buy a house or buy a car or do the various things with my money. I need to cut myself at a certain budget at this amount and then stick to it. And then also creating a savings plan as a result. Number 5 is creating a savings plan. Put money in a savings account to only use when absolutely necessary, like for emergency situations. Next, why do we want credit? Interesting question. Some people don't want credit. But let me ask you a question. If you're looking to buy a house, do you have $100,000 in the bank just sitting there that you can pay to buy a house? Some people do. Most of us don't. So you need credit or establishing credit to be able to do that, to make very large purchases. You also need to establish a credit history to be able to get more and more credit. We know that credit is very convenient. You can leverage your money by using a credit card without going into your savings, but you need to manage that responsibly to make sure that you're able to pay it back in a timely manner. You know that if you have a credit score or you've built credit over time, if you're applying for jobs, an employer is going to look at your credit score to see if they want to hire you based on how you repay your obligations. Also, if you're looking to rent an apartment, they're going to pull credit as well for insurance, auto loans, homes, etc. So let's talk about credit score. We've all heard the term, oh, I need to have a good credit score. I need a FICO score. Well, what is it? Well, all a credit score really is, it's a computer-generated number that says how likely are you to repay a balance or a loan if you're given one. They change over time as your payment patterns change, as what you borrow changes, and how you pay things off change. And a very excellent credit score is 750 to 849. So if you're in that 750 range to 849, you have very good, excellent credit. This is excellent A1 credit. If you're in that 660 range to 749, you're good. 620 to 659, fair. And if you're 349 to 619, we got some work to do. So how is a credit score made up? It's weighted based on various attributes. The first attribute is your payment history. Payment history represents 35% of your credit score, meaning it's weighted by 35%. So are you paying your credit on time? You give yourself maximum credit by paying it on time. And how much are you paying? Are you paying a minimum payment, or are you paying more than the minimum payment to pay those balances down? Next is the amount owed. That represents 30%. So these two things, payment history and the amount that you owe, 65% of your overall score. So think about paying it off as quick as possible and paying on time. That's going to be more than half of your score right there. Your credit history is 15%. The length of time that you've had credit. How long have you managed credit? If you got credit when you're 18 and now you're my age, about to be 46 this year, and you have a long track record of history and you haven't missed any payments and you paid your things off and down pretty quickly, you'll see a great score. New accounts that you open represents 10%. How aggressive are you opening up new accounts? You should limit how many new accounts that you open each year. Limit it to 1 or 2. And then the types of credit that you have is the next 10%. So whether it's an installment loan, whether it's a mortgage, whether it's a credit card, student loans, those will impact that as well. So think about this. What makes someone financially healthy? What choices should be made to boost your own financial health if there's any issues? So let's talk about that. First, take a look at your credit score. Take a look at your credit report and see what's on it. Are there anything that needs to be resolved, like unpaid balances that's been sitting there for a long period of time, like any accounts that are showing that are currently past due or have been passed through in the past that may not be accurate. There's some things you can do to dispute those transactions to get those cleared off, because that will increase your score. Next, limit opening new accounts. And try to reduce how many accounts you're opening up. Don't go for that 0% every time they offer it. Be very strategic about when you take that. Keep your credit card balances under 33% of the limit. So for example, if you have a Bank of America credit card and you have a $1,000 limit, if you want to keep that balance under 33%, then it needs to be under $330. So think about that across all of your credit. How much of your credit are you using that's available to you? Try to stick to under 33%. Next, save for emergencies and future goals. This helps you build your assets so that you can pay things off quickly when you borrow them. Do you have stable income? Do you have, the employment that you have? Are you hourly? Are you salary? Do you have other benefits that you can tap into that can give you additional income? Very important is this next part that a lot of times we don't do just based on our own pride and not wanting people be in our business, but asking for help when you need it. There's maybe people in your family that work at a bank that may have some understanding of credit and finances. Don't be afraid to reach out to them. I'm sure they would love to help, put you in a better situation. And if you have no credit whatsoever, then consider a secured credit card. And what this is you give the bank money, say $500 to hold as a security. They give you a card for $500 and you just manage that card. And as long as you pay it back and there's no delinquency over a period of time, you can graduate to an unsecured credit card where you get your deposit back. So now that we've been talking about credit, let's talk about where the credit is, and that is credit bureaus and credit reporting agencies. There are three major credit reporting agencies: Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. They all compete against each other. They all don't have the same information on it. Some lenders don't report to Equifax or Experian or TransUnion. So it's important to get all three so you can kind of deeply assess where your credit is and where your balances are and what's reporting on. Because when you apply for a mortgage, most cases we're going to pull all three. Where can you get your credit report? Annualcreditreport.com offers you a free credit report. You can also, there's an option to pay for your credit score. This is your FICO score that lenders use to make determinations on whether they're going to extend credit or not. Credit Karma. Now, Credit Karma will not provide you with the FICO score, but it will be a guide to show you, okay, here's the things that are on your credit. Here's how you've been paying. Here's how long you've managed your credit. And then finally, myfico.com is a place where you can get your credit score. And again, you have to pay for that, but it is something that a tool that you can use to assess how you are and how you're managing your credit. So what's on credit reports? Lenders will report monthly how you're paying, like what you owe, the type of product that it is, your last payment. It typically is 1 month behind. Report the timeliness of your payments. You report the credit limit, report the balance that you owe, and the highest balance that you've had. We'll also list your name, your address, your previous address, your employer, your previous employer, how many times you've applied for credit in the last 12 months, public records, like if you had any bankruptcies or any judgments against you, collection accounts, and it gives potential creditors information about your spending and payment habits. Now that we talked about credit, now everything is in good shape. You're in that good to excellent credit rating, and now you want to apply for a mortgage. Well, we would love for you to come to Third Federal and take a look at our community development product, which is our Third Federal Home Ready product. Now, let me talk about this product. You can put as low as, wait for it, 3% down. And you can combine funds from somewhere else, like down payment assistance funds, to be part of this 3% down. You still have to have money saved from an underwriting perspective just to make sure that you're able to, afford various things that can come up. We offer a 15-year and a 30-year fixed rate product. Now, this fixed rate product is going to be lower than what you see in our traditional product. They're both conventional products, but this is our community development product that has a much lower rate. The maximum loan amount, $250,000. Minimum loan amount, $10,000. $10,000. A lot of lenders don't do $10,000. We do. Now, this product has income and geographic restrictions. So let me explain that. You're in Cuyahoga County and you make less than $68,320. Guess what? You qualify. If you make over that amount, you're not up to game yet. If you're buying in a low to moderate income area, guess what? You qualify. So it's either or. Either you make less than $68,320 or you're buying in a low to moderate income area. We offer free pre-approvals. The pre-approval is good for 60 days. Now, this pre-approval is fully underwritten. So what that means is you provide us with income documents. We look at your credit report. We look at your income and we say, you can afford this much and you're approved from a credit standpoint. Then once you find a house, we get the house and look at the house and make sure the house is worth what you're paying for. And we move on. But it's a free pre-approval, good for 60 days. There are education requirements with this program. We'll talk about that in a minute. Next is our fixer upper home equity line. Now, this is a equity line that's off your house. If you have equity in your house, say you have a house that's worth $100,000 and you only owe $50,000 on your house. You have a loan to value of 50%. Well, with this product, we go up to 85%, but the maximum credit line for this is $9,900. Now wait for this. The rate on this, 2.99%. 2.99%. And guess what? It's fixed. You can't find an equity line out there that's a fixed rate. Most equity lines are adjustable rates, and prime rate right now is 8%. So 2.99 versus 8%, I'll take the 2.99. Minimum loan amount, $1,000. Maximum, like I said before, $9,900. You can use this line for 1 year. So you can use it almost like a credit card. You can spend a little bit, pay it back, spend, pay it back in that year time frame. After the year's up, the next 20 years, you can repay it. It's in repayment. No prepayment penalty, pay it off at any time. No annual fee, no closing costs, no brainer. Again, with this one, income and geographic restrictions, just like I mentioned before. What was that amount that I said in terms of income? $68,320 if you live in Cuyahoga County. Or if you make over that, as long as you're in a low to moderate income area, you qualify for this problem. Next, let's talk about down payment assistance. So we have two down payment assistance programs. One is what we call Home at Last. This is a $3,000 down payment assistant grant, meaning that you get this $3,000 after you get a pre-approval, get a purchase contract, have a loan with us, and you're getting ready to close on that loan. You signed up for the Home at Last funds. We'll give you those funds at the closing table, provided you take basically on average, a 3-hour course. It's an online course at fattiemay.com. 3 hours for $3,000. I'll take that deal. 3 hours for $3,000. Now, if $3,000, that's small change, okay, I can see that. What about $10,000? How does $10,000 sound? We have a forgivable down payment. See, the difference is the $3,000 is a grant. This one is forgivable over time. I'll explain that. This is a $10,000 forgivable down payment assistance program. It's forgiven over 10 years. So you need to stay in that house for 10 years, carry that loan for 10 years. After year one, 1,000 goes away. Year two, 1,000 more goes away. All the way to year 10, zero. But if you, in year 5, if you decide, you know what, I need to get a bigger house, I need to get out of here, I need to move, you have a $5,000 commitment that you need to pay back if you sell the house or move out of the house. You are given a 1099 each year for that $1,000 of down payment assistance. Again, with this product, this program, their income and geographic description. So remember, 68,320, or you're buying in low to moderate income area. And there are education requirements with this. It's our Home Today program, which is 4 classes, 2 hours at a time. So 8-hour commitment. Get through those 4 classes. You meet with a certified HUD counselor after that to say that you're good to go. It may not be the first time you meet with them. They may have to have you do some work, but once they give you the okay, they'll give you a certificate. And guess what? Once you have a pre-approval, purchase contract, purchase loan, you're ready to close, we'll give you the $10,000.
Thank you. Thank you very much. That was very valuable information. And I'm sure for those who were not able to join us this past weekend at the Empower One, they will definitely get everything they need from that presentation. So thank you very much. And you know, you ended talking about homebuyer counseling. So what better prelude to our next presenter? I would like to introduce to you Ms. Lydia Pope from NID Housing Counseling Agency. She is a branch manager, and also she is the esteemed national president of the National Association of Real Estate Brokers. And for those of you who listened to the first part of this presentation, I talked about the National Association of Real Estate Brokers. So at this time, I would like to turn it over to you, Madam Lydia. Take it away.
Hello, everyone. My name is Lydia Pope. I am the national president of the National Association of Real Estate Brokers, known as NAREB. Well, part of NAREB is our affiliate, which is called NID, is our housing counseling component. We are HUD-approved housing counselors. And so NID has been around for actually since 1980, and we have over 80 chapters, or actually not even chapters, but 80 branches all over the country. I have in the Cleveland, we have 3 of them. We have the Cleveland office, Pope Agency, we have the Stoudemire office, and we also have the Valentine office in the city of Cleveland. So when it comes to housing counseling, and Jason couldn't have said it better, you know, you go and apply for your loan, you take the Home Today workshops. Now you want to get the certificate that will basically go into home buying counseling, get a certificate to actually purchase a home. Well, NID, as a HUD-approved agency, what we do, number one, is our services are free. Our goal as a housing counselor is to make sure you as the consumer, number one, can understand how to buy a home. Secondly, you want to keep your home as well. And then thirdly, working through your credit and your budget to get prepared to buy that home at no cost. You know, I say it's like going to court with an attorney on the side. You got somebody that's going to advocate for you. Well, NID, because we don't represent a lot of our parties, our goal is for you, the consumer. So we talk through the home buying workshop with you. We talk through the home buying counseling. We go over the budget. We go over the credit. And at the end of the day, the goal is to make sure you're mortgage ready. That certificate that you're giving constitutes your mortgage readiness. And when we do pull our reports, and for anyone who has seen this virtual today and will put down on their Ohio Housing Finance Agency, Cleveland Realtist, and say you were here, we're actually doing free credit reports. And we pull a soft pull. And that's a big difference between a soft pull and a hard pull. And so when we sit down with you and go over your credit report, we see where you're at. So when it's time to go to the lender, you're already ready, your mortgage ready. The worst thing we try to avoid is going to the lender and you have some inequities or some challenges that we could have prevented. So coming to a housing counseling first, such as NID, our goal is to prepare you as a first-time home buyers, prepare you even if you own a home. And number one, making sure that your budget is in place, making sure that your credit is in place. So when you go look for that property with your real estate agent, hopefully a realtist, but your real estate agent in general, that you know that you have the best home possible and you've done all the good work ahead of time. So I want to say thank you so much on behalf of NID Agency. We have 3 offices around the city of Cleveland, Ohio. And I just ask if you have any questions or any concerns, or if you like to schedule to meet with the housing counseling, please, I'm going to just show my screen. If you could take a snapshot of our slide here for our NID counseling agencies. That's the QR code. So the QR code, just snapshot the QR code, know a little bit more about NID. We're more than happy to give you all the information, to sit down with you on a private basis, a one-on-one, to go over all your financials. So when it's time to buy a home, you're bringing that generational wealth to your community by getting your pre-approval done. And these are the 3 offices, just to take a snapshot of that for just a moment. So again, we want to say thank you so much. We look forward to working with you. And again, our offices are there and our cost is nothing. We charge you nothing to sit down with you and go over everything with you. So thank you.
Thank you all. Thank you very much. I'm sure that all of the attendees, whether they had the privilege of attending the Empower One event last Saturday, or whether they were just able to get the snapshots that we provided here today, I know that they will benefit from the information that was provided. So thank you all for presenting.